Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something pretty much everyone wonders about, the habits of people who've actually built up, significant assets.
Hmm.
We've got some interesting material here called Money Habits of the Rich, and, well, our mission is to really dig into the core behaviors, understand the why behind them.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Exactly. Get to what really matters. And just to be clear, we're not talking about get-rich-quick stuff here.
Really not.
It's about the consistent patterns, the behaviors this material highlights as like foundational for building wealth long term.
That's the key word, habits. The focus isn't really on specific investment tricks or timing the market perfectly.
Right.
It's more about the underlying mindset, the operating system, maybe, not just the apps you run. These are the patterns that, well, according to this material, really pave the way.
Okay, fascinating. Let's dive right into this list then. They've laid out 10 specific habits.
Let's do it. They present them pretty clearly with explanations and examples for each one.
All right. First up, habit number 1, setting clear goals and plans. What does that actually look like day to day based on the source?
Well, it starts with really defining what they want super clearly. Could be an income number, a target for total assets, maybe even a specific lifestyle.
Okay.
But here's the crucial bit. They then work backward from that goal.
Backward. Okay, that sounds almost like engineering it. What kind of example do they give?
Yeah, it is a bit like that. The material uses the example of someone aiming for, let's say, 10 million yen a year.
Right.
They don't just hope for it. They actually calculate, okay, what does that mean I need to earn monthly?
Ah, breaking it down.
Exactly. And then they start things, side hustles, specific investments, whatever it takes, designed specifically to hit that monthly number. It makes the big goal feel less huge, more actionable now.
Wow. So it's not just a fuzzy dream. It's like, here's the destination and here's the map drawn in reverse. That actionable part feels really key.
It is. It's the difference between, I want to be rich someday and, okay, I need X per month to hit Y assets in Z years, and here's step 1 I'm taking today.
Yeah.
Makes it real.
Okay, makes sense. Moving to habit number 2, making reading and learning a habit. Now, I gotta say, seeing this on a money habits list, it made me pause for a second. Why is learning so central?
Yeah, it might seem a bit indirect at first, but the material frames it as investing in yourself.
Okay.
They see gaining knowledge, learning new skills. It's building up your own personal assets over the long haul. The world changes fast, right?
Sure.
So staying relevant, finding new angles, that requires constantly learning.
And the example they use is pretty well known.
Right, they mentioned Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
pointing out his habit of reading regularly, using books as a source for new ideas. It just underscores that learning isn't just like a hobby. It's a tool for growth, for adapting, for spotting opportunities, all essential if you're trying to build assets.
That connection to adaptability. Yeah, that really clicks. Okay, next up, habit 3, understanding their financial numbers. This one feels a bit more, well, expected in a money chat.
Absolutely. This is about being really vigilant,
Uh,
constantly keeping tabs on the financial figures.
so like checking their bank account often.
More than that,
Yeah.
it's monthly income, expenses, sure, but also tracking investment values, knowing their total asset picture, like a financial
The
dashboard.
dashboard they check regularly.
Exactly. And the example they give makes it concrete. Someone checks their weekly spending, maybe using a budget app.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. If they spot wasteful spending,
Mm-hmm.
they immediately correct it.
Yeah.
It's that combination, the awareness plus the quick corrective action. That's what stands out.
That immediate course correction. Yeah, that seems vital. Not just knowing, but doing something about it.
Hmm.
All right, habit number 4, focusing on increasing income.
Now, this one's interesting. Saving is important. The material acknowledges that.
Right.
But it suggests that people who really build assets tend to prioritize finding will to earn more.
Ah,
So they often develop multiple income streams. Their main job, plus maybe side gigs, plus investment income.
so it's less about like pinching every penny
Exactly.
and more about opening up new taps for money to flow in.
That's the distinction they draw, yeah. The example is someone aiming for a promotion at work, sure, but also maybe doing some consulting on the side using their skills.
Okay.
Or maybe running a blog that generates income on weekends.
Hmm.
It kind of highlights that, there's a ceiling on how much you can save just by cutting costs.
Sure.
But the potential to increase your income,
Mm-hmm.
that can be much higher.
That definitely reframes where you put your energy. Growth versus just cutting back. Okay, habit 5, high awareness of how time is used.
Right? Time. They treat it like a really finite resource here, almost like capital itself.
Mm.
The habit is about minimizing wasted time and actively, structuring their day for productivity.
So being really deliberate about their schedule, not just letting the day happen.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The examples are things like listening to audiobooks during their commute, maybe learning a language or about investing instead of just, zoning out,
Okay.
or consciously limiting how much time gets sucked into social media. It links valuing your time directly to creating value, being productive in ways that actually push your goals forward.
Treating time like an asset.
Yeah, that makes total sense in this context.
Yeah.
Okay, habit number 6, investing in health. This is another one like reading that maybe isn't the first thing you think of for a wealth list.
Yeah, but the material makes a really strong case. It frames health as, like, foundational capital.
Foundational capital.
Think about it. Without good health, your ability to work consistently, to think clearly, to take action over the long term, it's compromised, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they actively put both money and time into things like exercise, healthy eating.
Viewing your health itself as a key investment for the future. That's exactly the idea. Examples are pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Committing to daily walks, going to the gym regularly, maybe choosing to spend a bit more on organic food.
Right.
It emphasizes that taking care of yourself pays off in the long run. It gives you the stamina, the energy you need to actually pursue opportunities and manage things effectively.
Okay, shifting gears a bit now towards people. Habit 7, valuing positive relationships.
This one's about who you surround yourself with. The material says they consciously distance themselves from negative people
Interesting.
and proactively seek out ambitious peers,
Right.
people who are also striving. The thinking is that your network, the people you spend time with, they massively impact your mindset, your motivation.
And probably the opportunities you hear about.
Exactly. Opportunities, information, all of it. So your peer group can either sort of lift you up or potentially hold you back.
That makes intuitive sense. What's the example?
They mentioned participating in things like study groups or networks for entrepreneurs, places where they can regularly exchange ideas, talk about challenges, share info with others on a similar growth path. It's about building that supportive ecosystem.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with people heading in the same direction.
Sure.
Okay, habit number 8, having value standards for spending. This sounds different. It's not just about being frugal.
No, quite the opposite, actually. It's not about mindlessly chasing the lowest price tag.
Uh-huh.
The habit here is about spending money intentionally on things that align with their personal values and give them a meaningful return.
A return. Like how?
Well, it could be time saved, health improved, knowledge gained, maybe even cherished experiences. Spending becomes strategic.
Strategic spending. Okay, give me the example.
Okay, so they contrast stopping those cheap, maybe not so healthy, daily convenience store lunches
Right.
with choosing, say, a meal delivery service. Now, the service costs more per meal, obviously,
Sure.
but the value comes from maybe better nutrition, so health, and the huge amount of time saved not having to shop, prep, or travel for lunch.
Ah, okay, so value is broader than just the price. It's the total benefit.
Exactly. What you gain relative to what you spend, considering time, health, energy, all of it.
That feels like a much more, I don't know, mature way to think about money. Okay, habit 9, spending money without being swayed by emotion.
This is all about discipline. Conscious decision-making when it comes to opening the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
The material points out they try to avoid making purchases impulsively, especially if it's driven by, stress or boredom or feeling down.
So no retail therapy after a bad day at work?
Not as a regular habit, no.
Yeah.
They aim for calm, rational judgment in spending decisions.
And the example.
It's a good one. Instead of grabbing something just because it's on sale.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Right. They make a point to wait, maybe sleep on it overnight, really ask themselves, do I actually need this? Does it fit my value standards?
A cooling off period.
Exactly. It's a deliberate pause to make sure the decision is logical, not just an emotional reaction.
Discipline is definitely a running theme here. Okay, last one. Habit number 10, acting without fearing failure.
Yeah, this one's about mindset again. The material suggests they don't really shy away from risk or the possibility of things not working out.
So they just jump in.
Not necessarily recklessly. It's more like a proactive mindset. They're willing to try new things, often starting small.
Okay, small scale first.
Yeah, and crucially, with the clear intention to learn from whatever happens, success or failure.
Seeing failure as data, maybe, not a dead end.
That's the great way to put it. Exactly.
Yeah.
The example is trying out a new business idea with, like, a small amount of seed money.
Right. Yeah.
If it doesn't pan out, the focus isn't just on, oh, I lost that money. It's on analyzing why it didn't work. What were the lessons?
And then using that next time.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Integrating those lessons into the next attempt. It really embodies that growth mindset. Every action gives you valuable feedback.
Wow. Okay, looking back at all 10, it's a really interesting mix, isn't it?
It really is.
You've got the practical stuff like tracking your numbers and managing time, but then also these big mindset shifts around learning, health, relationships, even how you view spending, and failure.
It definitely underscores that building assets isn't just one thing. It's multifaceted.
Right.
And the material does acknowledge, adopting all this isn't an overnight fix.
Right.
Some habits might be easier to start right away. Others might take more, gradual effort to weave into your life.
So when we boil it all down, what's the big takeaway from this material for the listener?
I think the core message is that these aren't just theories. They're the consistent actions and the mindsets that have been observed in people who've actually successfully built assets. It's about the patterns of behavior.
And the secret ingredient they mentioned, the real key.
The material puts it pretty simply. Consciousness and continuation.
Consciousness and continuation.
Yeah, being aware of these habits and then consistently working to make them part of your daily life. That's what seems to matter most, according to this source.
That really makes you think, doesn't it? As you've been listening to this list, how do these habits resonate with you personally? Is there one that jumps out? Maybe an area you think, yeah, I could work on that. Or maybe one you feel you're already doing pretty well.
And the material leaves us with this one final thought to chew on. It's quite powerful, actually.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It just says, if you incorporate even just one of these into your life, the view you see will gradually change.
Wow.
Just one.
Just one.
So maybe the question for everyone listening is, which single habit out of these 10 we've talked about might make the biggest practical difference for you starting now? Something to definitely ponder as we wrap up this deep dive.